Now here is an Inside the Eye feature from our global friendly outlet sources exclusively picked for Blue Eye Media. Learn the truth behind what mainstream and opinion outlets will never say. Get the inside facts of this chronicle.
Yeah, this is expensive equipment. Don't go. No, go. Hey, watch out! Back up. Back up. That's it. Yeah. Oh, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Back up! We're on public property. We're on public property. God damn it. We're on public property. Relax. Get off of the barrier.
Shut the fuck up! Man tough, yo, with a mask on. Man tough, fucking white boy, bitch ass.
This is what they doing, y'all, just so y'all can see. Out in full force at Deleny Hall. Pull up. Call your elected officials. Tell them to get their ass out of bed. See? Look at this. Tweet your governor's ass. Tell her to pull up. All of them. Damn shame. Look at what ICE is doing to our folks. If y'all near Deleny Hall, definitely get down here now. ICE is just out of fucking control. Their mission is to still kill and destroy people. And they're definitely on a rampage of trying to kill folks. But this is what the fuck most people don't see.
So they're pulling out the batons again. They got the pepper spray. They're about to push protesters back into the street. Oh, they're pepper spraying. They just pepper sprayed a girl right in the face. Here they come again with the batons and the violence. They are attacking protesters in the middle of the street. They are attacking protesters in the middle of the street. I just saw them hit one with the baton, and they are saying, "Get the fuck back, get the fuck back, get the fuck back." And this is in the middle of an ambulance in the middle of the street. This is for no reason. Protesters did not provoke them. Protesters did not touch them. They started barnstorming the protesters. And here you can see protesters are forming a human chain. They have the pepper spray out.
We're outside Deleny Hall ICE prison in Newark, New Jersey, day 5 of the massive ICE prisoners' hunger and labor strike over torturous conditions, including worms in the food, expired food, no recreation time, being kept awake all night, and lack of medical care and medicine for the prisoners. Already this morning, we have captured footage of protesters being arrested, protesters being attacked by the ICE goons behind me with their tank. They are here with their military tank, their masks, and weapons. They've pepper sprayed people throughout the most recent days, including U.S. Senator Andy Kim. We have been on the ground every day since this launched, this hunger strike 5 days ago. We were live for almost 4 hours last night. We have led all outlets, mainstream or independent, covering this ICE terrorism across the country, and we will be live on our YouTube channel at some point today, YouTube Status Coup. Please support this on-the-ground reporting for as low as 16 cents a day. statuscoup.com/join.
This protester outside an ICE facility in New Jersey was not a fan of Fox News.
And so the other situation is there's people like this. You are a protester who's been out here and you have a dirty mouth. But, okay, so that's just what we deal with. So just for people that want to know what it's like to cover these protests, it's constant with this. This is what these people do. They want people who are in this country illegally to be released out onto the streets. DHS says that's what they're going to not be doing. So we'll see.
Nazi bitch, that's what you want.
Happy birthday. Cha cha cha!
10-year-old girls shouldn't have to be protesting to get their families out of an ICE detention facility, but I'm going to show you a video that to me was heartbreaking in so many ways. I want you to watch this. I want you to share this. Make this go viral. It's from Status Quo News.
I saw you. What were you yelling at the guards?
That they need to let all these people out. If they're such big and bad, why don't they just take their mask off? They want to work here. They want to work here. They want to work here. So let them show their face. They should show their face. They want to work here? Then show their face. Why are you so scared? Why? There's nothing to be scared of. We're all here. We're all here to just see our family members. We're not here for trouble. We're not here for nothing. We're just here to just see our family.
The courage she is showing is completely unmatched. It's heartbreaking because a 10-year-old should not have to be doing this in the United States of America outside of an ICE detention center where her family members are experiencing horrific conditions in New Jersey. Spread the word. Follow for more.
Here outside Deleny Hall, there was a moment where it looked like there was almost a deal between ICE agents and the crowd out here to disperse.
That's the scene right now in New Jersey outside of a detention facility called Deleny Hall. Deleny Detention Center is where that's taking place, and I plan to be there within the next 24 hours. Let me tell you what's happening there and what has happened over the weekend. Deleny Hall is a previously used immigration detention facility from 2011, 2017. It was closed down. It's recently been reopened and repurposed to be used by ICE for a place for them to put people after they kidnap them off the street. It's where they put their hostages. And of course, they're being tortured. The people inside this facility have died from lack of medical care. Pregnant women have had miscarriages from lack of medical care. And the food has worms in it. The food has mold on it. The food is not fit for human consumption. And people have gotten sick and died from the food. Starting last Friday, the people inside the facility, the hostages that ICE have kidnapped and put there, went on a hunger strike. The hunger strike has been going on since Friday. I stand with you. We, the people, stand with you. Protesters have been gathering all weekend around the facility. Number one, in support of the hunger strike, and number two, to prevent Deleny officials from moving people out of the facility to other facilities. The way that they are trying to end this hunger strike is they're trying to take the leaders of the strike out of the facility and so that they could torture and discourage the other people from continuing the hunger strike. But the protesters said, fuck you, hell no, we won't go. They blocked all the exits. They won't let vehicles out. The senator of New Jersey, Andy Kim, one of the senators, the other is Cory Booker, but that's another conversation. One of the senators from New Jersey, Andy Kim, is out there trying to broker a deal between ICE agents and protesters to let vehicles leave as long as the vehicles don't have detainees in them, hostages in them. That's a great success. That's a sign of a great, well-organized, well-orchestrated protest. Stay the course, hold the line. If you can get to Deleny Hall, show up and support these hostages, support the local population. I want to point out, the people that are on strike, they've made it clear they are not on strike just to get better conditions. They're on strike to be released. They want to be released from this illegal concentration camp where they've been kidnapped and held hostage. And I fully support their message. Fuck ICE, chinga la migra, hold the line, resist now. We as a country, this is our proving ground. This is our time. This is where we are being tested. ICE is trying to create concentration camps around the country. We must not let them. We must meet in the streets now. Beat me there. Don't meet me there. I'll be there in the next 24 hours. See you soon.
New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill has been denied access to see the hostages at the Deleny concentration camp in New Jersey. That's right. The actual governor of the actual state of New Jersey was denied access by a bunch of ICE peons to the facility. People are starving inside. There is a hunger strike going on inside that for-profit concentration camp in New Jersey, and the people inside there need to be attended to. Now, what is DHS's solution to the fact that they tortured people enough inside there that they actually went on a hunger strike? Well, they're going to move all of them. But in an effort to prevent them from being moved, the community members have showed up and prevented the transport from happening at the Deleny concentration camp facility. But ICE has been attacking people at the Deleny facility. Peaceful protesters who are just standing around are being attacked with non-lethal weapons, but that's questionable. They're being beaten. They're being drug away. And DHS is evil, you guys. These for-profit concentration camps are disgusting. And I am not radical for saying that crossing a border is not a reason to torture people in a for-profit concentration camp. Crossing a border is not a reason to starve people. Crossing a border is not a reason to separate families. Crossing a border is not a reason to incarcerate babies and children. Crossing a border is not a reason to treat people inhumanely. This is crazy.
We have a new sponsor, Avocado Green Mattress. Their certified organic mattresses are specifically designed to relieve pressure points, support your body the way it needs, and help you actually get the deep restorative sleep you've been missing. Every mattress is made with thoughtfully sourced materials and built with real care, so you get incredible sleep night after night. Their mattresses, like Avocado's best-selling Green Mattress, plus their city bed frame, bring timeless design, quality, and sustainability into the bedroom. Avocado focuses on thoughtful craftsmanship, creating products that feel intentionally made rather than mass-produced so you can feel good when you buy. When products are made with real certified organic materials, they don't just feel better, they can actually provide better support, breathability, and durability. So they're both good for you and good for the planet. Choosing avocado is one of the most sustainable choices you can make, as they are made with natural, certified organic materials that are responsibly sourced and last longer, which means less waste. Avocado products are made, not manufactured, and thoughtfully crafted with real materials to deliver lasting comfort and support. Go to avocadogreenmattress.com/mistrial to check out their mattress and furniture sale. That's avocadogreenmattress.com/mistrial. avocadogreenmattress.com/mistrial.
Senator Kim, as I was saying, very much understanding where this issue is right now. He was pepper sprayed by federal agents on Memorial Day during a protest at a New Jersey detention facility. Video of this went viral, and there's Senator Kim now.
Yep.
Senator Kim, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Great to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I know you're making the rounds. You're doing a lot of interviews today because, my goodness, things got pretty crazy for you yesterday. You were, I guess, part of this protest outside the Deleny Hall facility in Newark. And feel free to, correct me if I'm getting anything wrong here. There were detainees staging a hunger strike and so on. And then things got a little wild. Can you fill us in?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, I was actually inside the detention facility. First and foremost, the guards at the facility denied my entry. I actually had to end up calling Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen just to get access, even though I was already approved to get in. Just shows you just the continued lawlessness on that action. But when I came out from the detention facility, that's when I was informed that this kind of showed it. This kind of standoff was happening, where there was a line of armed ICE agents and an armored vehicle and a line of protesters. So I was someone that tried to de-escalate. Honestly, I was trying to prevent this from turning into a really nightmarish situation. I had seen what happened in Minnesota and elsewhere. I was really worried about what could happen right here in my home state. So I actually tried to de-escalate, but at some point, ICE just told me that they're gonna just move their vehicles right through the crowd. And I told them, you cannot just plow through this crowd of civilians. And I tried to come up with an agreement that could make this be done peacefully, but they didn't give me time to try to arrange that. So they ended up just plowing through the crowd. I did my best to try to stand between the ICE agents and the crowd. Try to keep people separate and safe, but it still ended in an absolute catastrophe and a real chaotic mess.
Yeah, and Senator, I think we have a still photograph of you sort of putting your arms out, trying to keep things calm, trying to de-escalate, as you were saying. And you can see these militarized officers behind you. You have your arms spread out. What was happening in that moment just then?
Yeah, and you can see that one ICE agent right there at the back by the door is holding on to the pepper ball gun that ended up shooting towards me and towards others in just a few seconds after this. This was a moment where they were plowing through this crowd. I was trying to tell the crowd not to throw objects, not to do things that would further provoke. As I really worried. Again, I was trying to keep them separate. I was worried that if they really came into kind of hand-to-hand confrontation, that we could potentially see even greater levels of chaos and even violence. But I was also turned around right after that. I turned around to the ICE agents, and I tried to tell them no, like, do not engage. But it was all happening so fast. And look, it was a horrific circumstance, but no major injuries, no arrests. But the sad thing, though, Jim, is if you ask me now, could this happen again today? Could this happen again tomorrow? The answer is yes, because all the conditions are still there. Like just the continued treatment, inhumane treatment of the detainees there. I mean, I met a pregnant woman that said she's not getting the medical care that she needs. I met yesterday a man with stage 3 lung cancer who's not getting medical attention. Someone handed me a carton of milk, and I looked at it, and it was just congealed solid on the inside. I mean, it was absolutely disgusting. And while Trump is telling you these are the worst of the worst, these are the dangerous people, the people that I met was like this 18-year-old high school senior. She just told me all she wants to do is go to her prom and graduate, but instead she's there separated from her family. I saw her mother outside. Can you imagine being that mom of an 18-year-old girl as she's stuck inside by herself in this detention facility? Like, that's what I want the American people to see. That's where your money is going right now. And we're doing this all in the context of the fact that in a few days I will go back to the Capitol, and the Republicans are trying to push forward this reconciliation bill right now that would give tens of billions of dollars more to ICE, with no accountability, no reforms since what happened in Minnesota, as we now see in Newark, New Jersey, and we'll see continuing elsewhere in this country. we have to stop this. The lawlessness has to stop.
Right, and Senator Kim, you bring a couple of good points there, but one thing that I wanted to get into is that after that moment where you're trying to de-escalate things and you have your arms spread out, it was after that, if I'm not mistaken, is that when the ICE officer fired the pepper ball in your direction and in the direction of the other protesters, and it exploded and it caused that chemical dispersant to go up in your face? And I guess we have some video of folks trying to pour water on your face to get that off of you. But can you tell just a little bit about what happened then?
So after that photo, as that vehicle turned, again, I was trying to keep that distance, but I just remember just immediately some pepper ball shots were right at my feet, just right alongside me, and I felt a few just kind of whiz by me. And we also saw some dispersing of pepper spray. So I don't know what it was, if it was, some of the dust up from the ground or something else. But I started immediately trying to help others that were injured for the physical injuries or from the pepper spray. But then just like I think the adrenaline kind of wore off, and I realized that I myself was having trouble kind of seeing, and that my throat was what felt like it was on fire. So I went over to the medical area and just had someone try to flush out my eyes, just to try to get rid of some of that irritation there. But it just, again, I'm grateful there weren't any more serious injuries, but I don't have the reassurance that this is not going to happen again, and that's just what that's what all of us unfortunately live in. Like, the way I've been thinking about it is, like, it shouldn't be this easy to have violence start in our streets. Like, the ease and the inevitability of what it felt like yesterday. Like, when I saw that convoy moving, like I could feel it. It was just inevitable, and it just became so easy to see it. And sadly, it felt very familiar because we see these scenes on social media and the news all the time. And then I now see it unfolding before my eyes, that I'm now immersed in this. Yeah, Jim, it was really sad to see how easy it is for violence to just erupt in the streets in America these days.
And do you think that they knew that you were a United States
They
senator
would,
when
yeah,
they
absolutely.
dispersed it? Okay.
And they absolutely did, because
That's outrageous, isn't it? I mean, they should be holding back, it seems to. I mean, if there are any American citizens, undoubtedly, yes, of course. But a United States senator, I mean, that just seems nuts.
Look, I spent quite some time trying to mediate. I was I'm the only person that was able to go through the ICE line of officers to talk to their leadership to try to see if there's any plan. I was going back and forth. I was on a bullhorn trying to calm the situation down. They all knew who I was. No one else shows up in a suit and tie, standing there with my arms raised as they're holding up and pointing a pepper ball gun in my direction. I even put my arms out to try to widen my stance to try to prevent them from shooting past. But look, it just shows again the ease with which these types of actions, and I told you that it shouldn't have been inevitable. I was trying to find an agreement that could make this be done. I'm not guarantee I could have done it, but I asked them for more time, but they just revved the engines and started.
And Senator, one of the things that we've noticed is that the Department of Homeland Security tried to make the case that there was some sort of rioting that was going on there, and that this is why they did this, and so on, and this will not be tolerated. Is that, I mean, does that jive with the facts?
Well, here's what I'll say is, 2 days earlier I was there, and
Yeah.
there was nothing of this level of magnitude. It really wasn't. But as
Yeah.
they started to retaliate against the detainees that were protesting, they did a transfer of one detainee that they thought was leading some of this They literally, in the middle of the night, detransferred him to another facility, despite his family being outside. Those are the things that, again, just kind of further escalated this. And
Yeah.
just before this big confrontation happened, there was actually just there were my team was telling me, like a bunch of kids there blowing bubbles. Like this
Mm.
was not a scene that was that necessitated bringing a huge armored vehicle and dozens of armed ICE agents. It really just riled up the crowd and just made things so much more difficult to untangle on that front. So,
Yeah.
I just say, like, look, this is just, the continued actions that we see and just indicative of that lawlessness.
Well, and the way you describe it, it sort of reminds me of what I thought I was seeing watching the images coming out of Minnesota. In that it's almost as though they're spoiling for a fight, they're spoiling for a confrontation. It's almost like they're seeking a confrontation, so then they can go and use over the top force. And I just wonder if that's kind of what you witnessed there. And what concerns me is that, it seemed as though they had maybe tamped some of that stuff down after the killings of Renee Good and Alex Brady, and whether or not what you witnessed and what you experienced on Memorial Day may be an ominous sign of things to come, potentially.
Look,
I don't know. Yeah.
I hope not. I hope not,
Yeah.
Jim. I mean, when you when
Yeah.
you when you see with your own eyes Americans fighting other Americans,
Mhm.
whether it's in the halls of the Capitol on January 6th or elsewhere, like it just like it's really tough, and I have to hope that that was not the point. That it wasn't about provoking it, provoking in that way. But I will say that again, they're not, ICE is not taking any actions to de-escalate on their own to try to remedy some of the situations that are happening with this with the detainees. And like you can't help but feel like cruelty is the point
Mm.
of some of this treatment. Like when you hear from these detainees, they're there 8 months, 10 months, 12 months. They're not just complaining about the conditions. They're saying they're not getting their day in court. I mean, Jim, they showed me this piece of paper they had up on a bulletin board in the hallway there that showed that today, as the courts open back up after the holiday, one judge has 74 cases before them today,
Mm.
which comes to what? I did the math, about 5 minutes a case if everything lined up perfectly nonstop, which of course it won't. And there's interpretation
Yeah.
that's needed and other things. Like it's a farce. Like,
Mm.
and you can't help but wonder, like, well, look, who's benefiting from people just being indefinitely detained? Geo Group, who runs Delaney Hall, they're getting paid by the bed. These
Yep.
are people that they got hundreds of millions of dollars, upwards of $1 billion contract for Delaney Hall. Like they could improve the food overnight, but
Yeah.
then that's less profit for them. They could hire more doctors and actually they have one doctor for nearly 800 people. They could hire more
Wow.
doctors right now, but that's less profit for them. They could fix the extreme heat that I felt in some of the rooms, and it's not even at the peak of summer yet. They could fix that, but that's less profit for them, right? So,
Mm.
like, it's not just about the fact that ICE is getting a blank check. They're given a blank check in this revolving door of corruption because Tom Homan came from Geo Group. This new head of ICE that just got appointed, he's straight from Geo Group. Like it's this
Wow.
like revolving door, and I'm sure a lot of these people working at ICE, they're gonna go work for Geo Group and Core Civic afterwards. They're giving these no bid contracts. I mean, like this is what's happening is there's a for-profit industrial complex here that is profiting off of perpetuating that human misery. And it's just like it's so blatantly right before our eyes. There's ways in which we can do this. We can go after the dangerous and the violent criminals. I think we can all agree upon that. But like we can do this process in a way that doesn't just again cause so much misery for so many people that are not those violent criminals that Trump just continues to lie about.
Yeah. It sounds like another avenue of corruption for this administration, and there's a lot of that going around these days. There's no
Oh
question
yeah, I
about
mean,
it.
like like
Yeah.
you should look into how much Geo Group gave to Trump's inauguration, and all of these other
Wow.
payments that have been happening to their campaigns and other things like that. After Trump got elected, the head of Geo Group gave, I think it was the head of Geo Group, of course, they said that this is gonna be this is going to be the best time for their business. And you can't help but think that when Trump says it's a golden age for people. I think he means it's a golden age for Geo Group, it's a golden age for Core Civics, it's a golden age for these for-profit companies that are just profiting off of what ICE is doing.
Incredible. Well, Senator Kim, thank you for joining us and coming on and talking about your story and going in there and witnessing this firsthand. Because, you know, I've tried to go to a detention facility. They chased me off within seconds. I could not be on the property for more than a few seconds before they were threatening to arrest me. And it just seems to me what they're trying to do is they're trying to keep the public from seeing what's going on there. Because as you said, they're making money hand over fist these days, charging by the bed. If they only locked up the violent people, then they probably wouldn't make as much money. So they're just rounding anybody up who looks like somebody who might be detained. And
yeah, an 18-year-old girl.
Yeah, an 18-year-old girl. That's outrageous. Just outrageous. Yeah. Well, thank you, Senator. Really appreciate it. And glad you're okay. Sorry that what you went through, but thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for shining a light on this, Jim.
Follow Blue Eye Media exclusive insights and breaking news sources from global friendly outlets that you won't get from the mainstream TV and radio outlets of America. Learn how to play the flute of the globe and learn the real truth.